everybody. If anybody's out there, which I
Hi.
guess you'll watch it on the replay. So today's not going to be our usual show with Akashic readings. What we're going to do basically is catch everybody up on what we've been up to in our long sabbatical and kind of, oh, we have people. And hi, Gatekeeper and Teresa. Thank you for coming. And we're going to chat about what's going on in the universe, which is a lot, about what we think is coming towards us and how we plan on dealing with the future. And if you have any questions, concerns, feel free to ask in the chat. We're really not going to do personal questions. We wanted to kind of keep it general to kind of, since there's so much going on right now, we thought it would be better just to talk about all of that. So, hi,
Cheri, have
Sammy.
good news.
Oh, that's right. I sold my house and we're going to be moving in 3 weeks. And we're going to go, of course, see Jennie. This is the first thing we're going to do.
Yep, she's coming to see me.
Yep.
Me and Dave are coming. I don't know if he can handle the two of us together, though.
I don't know. He'll probably...
I'll have to, like, calm me down.
Yeah. So he'll be fine. And he'll probably just walk away, right, Sam? Hi, Sam. Sam's in the chat.
Hi, Sam.
So we're going to be heading out and saying goodbye to Cleveland and Ohio, and who knows where we're going to go. And how about you? What have you been up to, Jennie?
Me? What have I been up to? I don't know. I'm just enjoying my life.
Yes.
I'm really excited that Cheri and Dave are coming. I'm super excited.
Yep. I can't wait. So
I'm
so I'm happy. I am so relieved. He will be okay. Sam says he'll be okay. He'll live, right?
I was thinking about it today. I was getting in the elevator. I'm like, oh my God, I'm just had to like ramp it down. Poor thing. He'll have two of us.
Yeah, but you have to remember, we have 4 kids.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He's already a broken man.
Okay. So that's really great. They're gonna drive over here, and we don't know whether they're coming through Asheville or down through southwestern Virginia because of the road things.
Yeah.
But from the hurricane. But yeah, it's gonna be really exciting.
Yeah, so I can't wait. Hi, Jinx, Gatekeeper. Oh, hi, Sally.
Hi, Sally.
Ellen, thanks for coming. So for all that just came in, so we were just saying how we're going to kind of just talk about what's going on in the cosmos right now, in the country, in the world, where we think it's going, how we're going to deal with the energies to come. If you have any questions or kind of just catching everybody up on what everybody's been doing and what we're doing and everything. And that's about it. And so if you do have any questions or thoughts about what's going, I know everybody wants to know about the drones and, you know, how it's going to go with certain people out there, who's going to be where, what type of time some people are concerned about, what we're heading. So whatever you guys would like to, for us to talk about, feel free to put it in the chat and we'll talk about it. So what would you, I know you had some things you wanted to say.
So Cheri did this. She dreamed the shine your light. She's a dreaming woman, and it came to her in a dream. The day after the thing that we all did, when it didn't go our way that we thought, I got extremely happy, and I was like, this is our time. This is the time that we're here for. This is the time where we're supposed to shine our lights. We are the way showers. We are the gatekeepers. We are the people. And I was like, this is it. This is why we came now. So I got extremely, extremely happy, which is strange because most people didn't. And I'm like, well, this is it.
Right. Like me, I picked up everybody's energy. So I picked out the universal freak out. So I literally jolted up at 4:00 in the morning. I jolted up in bed, totally sick, like beyond sick, like having sick. And I knew it. It was what it was. And it took me about 24 hours to purge all of that and bubble. I literally had to double bubble myself. and get out. It took me a long time to build up and stop. It was like I was being a barometer of the country, and it was real difficult for me for a day or two. And then I found my equilibrium and balance. And then I was like, Jenny, like I knew everything's going to be okay. It doesn't
So then
matter.
she called me. She called me one night. She said, "You got to
Yeah.
talk me off the wall. You got to talk
Yeah.
me down off the wall." And I'm like, So we did. We do what we do. And then that night, she had that dream about um, your.
I had right. And we did do this impromptu angel healing that night,
Oh yeah.
which
Oh yeah. Oh. Okay. So yeah, I need to talk about that. So I'm trying to talk her off the ledge. She said, and I sound like a hick. So so I had her like start breathing really deeply, like breathe. I was like, and I was breathing with her. I was like, breathe in, breathe out, really slowly. Breathe in, breathe out, and we did that for a while. And then all of a sudden, I could feel the room like filled with angels, like filled. And then it came upon me. I said, Cheri, they want to do a healing on you. And I know from Terry Suzuki doing healings like that, you have to ask permission. So I kind of followed Terry Suzuki's, lead, and I said, Cheri, do you agree to this healing? And she said, of course, yes. And then they did it. Like I spoke it, but it came from them. And then they did a healing on her. And then after that, everything for her changed. Like everything.
I was able to
That's
bubble
the way I
myself
see it.
again. Right. I was able to block out those energies from everyone else. I felt like I really bumped up several levels after that. Once I could really just find my equilibrium again. And it was awesome. And it started with the breathing. So breathing's
Yeah.
really
It just
important,
started with
right?
the breathing. I was just
Started
trying
with
to
the
get her
breathing.
to calm down.
And that
And
was the
then
night I had that
and
dream.
then it went to just a whole other place with all the
Mhm.
angels being in there and the
Right.
healing, and I do that at night. I do that at night.
Hmm. Yeah.
And sometimes I do it in the morning, you
Hmm.
know.
Right. So I had a few dreams. I had the dream about the thing
The
and
thing
what's
the thing
been
we
all that
did.
was behind it, the thing that we did, and all that was going into that. So I had this really, yeah, a lot of us are having some really interesting dreams, Sally, right? And yes, I think some people in the chat know what my dream was. Sam knows, Sally knows. I sent it. And then I also had the shine your light. They literally woke me up and I said, I'm sleeping. And they're like, well, we've been letting you sleep. Get up. Like, and they literally they showed me this little girl with singing This Little Light of Mine. And she was drawing with a stick. She was like 5 or 6. And she's just singing This Little Light of Mine. And then it goes out to that. And then it goes to, you see a light of, in a city it pans out over the United States, and I hear the shining light on the hill, and it goes out, and then it goes back down, and it says 1,000 points of light, and it shows the lights popping up, and then it shows lighting the world, and it shows when that thing in Las Vegas shoots up to the sky, and that's when I got about the shine your light on how important it is, and it just starts with one. And so I was so compelled to start this shine your light that it was like I had to do it. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how I was going to do it. So of course I called upon my select friends, like, okay, I have this dream. I have to do this, help. And it took off from there. And now it's starting we did the first one. We're going to do the second one this coming the Saturday. We're working on a website,
The
and that's
21st
on
of
the
December, right?
21st. Right. I thought I'd have the website up by now, but it's not quite up yet because it's way hard. I'm not a web person. I do the graphic stuff, web. So I'm trying to find some help with that. We got a logo, and we're going to set up a whole community. We're going to have various levels. We're going to have groups. We're going to have newsletters. We're going to have classes, meditation. We're going to do all kinds of stuff like that to try and just help us as we navigate these new, times that we're coming through, because those that understand the bigger picture, we're going to be fine. Is it going to be tumultuous? Yeah. Is it going to be hectic? Is there going to be some stuff that's going to blow us away? But we are going to be fine. We will take care of each other. We understand, and spirit will take care of us. We'll be fine. And I firmly believe that. And I think that's why so many are feeling it. They understand it, but they know it's going to be okay. Even my daughter Samantha, she woke up, says, I don't know why, but I'm fine. Like, she's like, no big deal. And yeah. And so I know that we're going to be okay, but we're still going to need to network. They told me it's that we're in the times like around World War II when we pitched together. We came together and we took care of our own. We did those victory gardens. We networked. And we did all that stuff, and we checked on our neighbors and did all that. And that's what we're moving into. So that's what they brought to me, what I'm supposed to, like, part of my next step in my journey. Not my final step, but my next
That was
step.
incredible. There were so many people that showed up on Shine Your Light. It lasted for 4 hours, and it was really incredible. And then the last hour, Cheri Suzuki came in, and I was kind of assisting her, and she did an angel healing for everybody. And I mean, it's just like,
no, you're right, Sally. Not everybody's going to be fine, but we'll be fine. Everybody,
right,
and what we have to understand is that everybody's on their own journey. And those of us who understand and walk in the path of light and love, we will be fine, because we understand about the importance of taking care of your neighbors.
Surfing the waves. It's like jumping the waves. If you ever jump the waves when you're a kid, the wave comes and you jump the wave. So if you keep your vibration really, really high and stay in a happy place and connect with us, like connect with people that are like-minded, you can jump the waves. You don't have to be sucked in to the
right. And that's the thing, though. We will take, because you said you're in protecting the most vulnerable. And that's the thing. We will make sure that we take care of each other. We understand. Let's face it, all of us in this community understand. You take care of your neighbor, you take care of each other, you give and you take. I have this extra, and then maybe this person will give you this. I'm not using this. Can you use it? We understand to check on, we that's why we're going to be okay, because we understand that give and take, that love, that, we're not walking in the hate, and we're not turning our back on people. We'll make sure our neighbor next door has food to eat if they can't get out.
Somebody in our community, if you're upset and you're feeling bad, you call one of us, or email one of us, and we all support each other.
Exactly. And that's what it's going to take. We understand we support each other. It's about the community. And that's part of the lesson, is understanding it's about community. The ones that are going to have the hardest time are the ones that don't understand that. Are the ones that don't walk in the path of oneness and don't look out for their neighbor and are, I don't want to say, but we all know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. They're the ones that are going to have the hardest time, because they are used to other people. We're the glue. We're the glue. And we will hold each other together. We will give when we have it, and we will take when we need it. And through that balance, we are going to be fine. And to get to what the world we want to live in, we have to go through this. Because as it stands now, it cannot support the world we want. We want no homelessness. We want where no one goes hungry. We want everybody to have access to healthcare. Our government structures, our corporate structures, they cannot support that. That has to get torn down.
Let's just speak of it in like grassroots kind of way.
Grassroots.
It's just grassroots. It's everybody taking care of everybody else.
Right, exactly. And I just think there's so many marginal. Yeah, there are a lot, but I think that there are a lot of marginalized people, but they're suffering anyways. In some ways, if we want to, the way I look at it is, if we want to get to the better place, we have to go through this. Unfortunately, we had chances in the past to not be here right now. We could have fixed this 100 years ago. Think about it. Every time the universe gives you a lesson, they present it. Teddy Roosevelt he wanted free health care in, 1911. He wanted universal health care, universal child care. He wanted free college 110 years ago.
So what was the statement about people are marginalized?
Yeah, Sally said, I understand what you're saying. I just think there are so many marginalized people who will suffer.
Okay, so we'll talk about that in our um, meeting.
Okay, on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But it's
So so
so
we're going to help the people that are marginalized.
we are that's why we're doing all this.
Not we, this community, the bigger community, the
Mhm.
community of light workers are going to help the people that are marginalized.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's why this is happening. So we get to a place where we I mean, Earth is ascended.
Sally, all of us have been marginalized at some point in our lives, and we understand that. We understand how that feels.
Right.
So, all of us, the light workers, are going to help everyone.
Right.
Even people that are marginalized.
We are going to take care of our own. We are moving into a time where we are going to take care of our own. We're going to step up and we're going to do what's necessary. We already kind of see it happening. People are already saying that in many ways. I've heard them saying, we'll be fine because we're going to make sure our neighbors are okay. We're going to check in on our neighbors. We're going to make sure, we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that we, support each other in our communities. And I really think that that's what's happening right now. I know a lot of people right now are kind of walking away from some of this, and they're leaving or this, but now's not the time to leave. Now's the time to step up. And now's the time. Jenny's right. This is what we came here for. This is our mission as light workers. We trained lifetime after lifetime after lifetime for this. All the hardships that we had gone through in this life are for this particular moment in time. We would not understand the importance of taking care of our neighbor had we not been through what we have been through. Like you said, we've all been marginalized in one way. A lot of us have lost everything at one point and another, have been almost homeless or have gone hungry or have had no medical insurance or, lost their job and didn't have any money to feed their kid. I know I was there. One time I didn't know how I was going to feed my kids. I come home and there's $100 taped to my door. Wow. When my kids were really little, before Sam was born, I didn't have any money and my everything was getting shut off. And I come home and there's money taped to my door. It's like the hand of, and it's like, I've always had, my boiler broke, but I had a fireplace. So it's like, yeah, I didn't have central heat for a while, but I had a fireplace at least. I didn't go cold. So if you look at it that way, I was always, at least I was provided for, or I did that because I don't know if it's because I had faith or whatever, but I always did. And that's the importance. I think we need to go in and remember, we just need to take care of each other. That's part of what we're going through. And we also have to remember everybody's on their lesson or their mission or their journey, and that's really important for us. We can't save anybody else. They have to to a degree, save themselves, as far as when we can't wake someone else up. In other words, they have to wake up themselves. or if we have the right to have boundaries to say, if you want to act that way, that's fine, but I choose not to associate with you anymore because you don't fit with how the world I want to live in. That is completely fine to do. It is a very enlightening experience to get down to just a few dollars. It really is. And or when
See, all of us have been in that situation, maybe not monetarily, but in that situation in our lives. All of us have been in that kind of, we're really down and out. We're at the bottom. And then you
more than
you know,
once.
you ended up getting lifted up. Or you ask help from spirit and then you get lifted up. We've all been there. Every single one of us have been there.
I mean, there's a story about when my mom died, and some people know it and some people don't. And through my mom's passing, I understood so much more about, and it made me understand people's journeys. Because you know how it is when my mom was dying, I couldn't take care of her. I had to put her in a nursing home. I was a nurse. It killed me. I took care of my mother-in-law, but yet I couldn't take care of my mom. I was not a happy person. Trust me, not happy. I was pissed off, let's face it, because my mother-in-law, yeah. And
Okay.
so I took care of her. She made our lives hell. I did it. Then when it came time to take care of my mom, I couldn't take care of my mom. And my mom had cancer and some dementia. It went to her brain and everything. And she went into a home. And I had found someone through Marina at Heart Center Tarot who had read people who were in comas and who in dementia, who couldn't communicate. And my mom was holding on because she knew I was going to talk to this person. And she knew that I needed to reach a certain point of understanding about humanity, death, and people's souls, so I could move to the next level. So part of my journey was her dying the way she died was for a lesson for me too. She had her reasons for doing it too, but part of it was me. And through that communication, I learned that the importance of letting people have their own journey, that there's things happen for a reason, for their journey, their lessons, their life. And sometimes it's not up to us to decide their journey. We do the best we can in a situation, and that's all we're meant to do. And the rest we have to let go and understand it's their journey. And when my mom died, she chose to die when I was the only one that could be there. And she waited for me to get there. And the gift she gave me was allowing her to cross her over to the other side. So I always say she brought me in and I took her home. And it was the most beautiful gift my mom ever gave me, was what she gave me when she crossed over and through her death. It was the biggest gift she ever gave me. And I learned the value of our journeys and letting people have their journey and the importance of our journeys. And it is very important in that, and how death isn't death, and how it just made me understand everything on such a bigger level. And once I understood that, and she told me about that, and that there's, don't feel bad about, that's their journey. That's what they're here for. You have to allow it. It released everything to understand that. And it was an amazing gift my mother gave me. An amazing gift. I will forever be grateful for that. So, that's what we have to understand with people in their journeys. We do the best we can with what we can. Our journey is our journey, but their journey is their journey. And we cross paths and they intermix like that, but we still each have our own journey. And we can't save anybody else. You have to save themselves. But collectively, we can do miracles. Collectively, we can change the world. Collectively, we can do so much. We can move mountains collectively. We're all connected. And I just understood that so much more then. And it was such a gift that my mom gave me. And I can't wait till I know she, but I can't wait to get to the other side and just say, give her a big energetic spiritual hug. And, you know, I loved her even more for that. So, but anywho, that's my story.
Okay.
So, but that's the importance of our journeys right now. And we're choosing which direction we go. Everybody has a choice to make. Which train are you going to take? How are you going to handle
I
it?
just don't want you to think that, there's only some people that are marginalized. Everybody on this earth has had difficult, very difficult circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
So just because they're not difficult at this certain point in time, just because they came through it and they help other people, it doesn't mean that they don't understand. We do understand.
Right. And that,
And that's what light workers are.
right. And also I don't want to say we're being tested, but now is our time as light workers. And it's our time to stand up to it. So are you going to stand up for what you came here for, or are you going to run away too?
I'm standing up. I'm an Aries bitch. Like, do not,
Yeah. And
I had a past life dream that I was in World War II and I was a man in Germany and helping children escape.
mm-hmm.
And it was very, very clear. And so I know that I was there in World War II in Germany or Austria, taking children to France. Mm-hmm. So you can't tell me, like, I'm not scared of anybody. Like, I'm not scared at all. Not one bit. But the point is, like, so we all have to, like, pray for the uplifting of everybody. That makes sense.
Yeah, we have to, right, the highest and best good. We have to shine our light. We have to walk in love. Right. We have to not give our energy to what does not serve us. We put our energy for what we want. So do you want to put all your energy with the negative stuff that's going on, or do you want to put your energy towards making the world the place you want it to be? Wherever you direct your energy, that's where you're going to go, and that's where your world's going to go. So that's why it's so important right now to not put your energy in those negative spaces, into that lower vibrational spaces.
And keep your vibration high. So even if you don't feel like your vibration is high, just pray for the highest and best outcome for everyone. And that will raise your vibration.
Right.
And that will help the world.
And laugh. Laughter is awesome.
So Cheri and I send funny dog videos back and forth to each other, and we're howling, laughing. Laughing is probably the best thing to do right now.
It instantly raises your vibration. Instantly.
Laugh. Watch something that's going to make you. Those dog videos are freaking hilarious.
Right.
So, and we kind of do that every morning, and it just sets a tone. And I'm howling with laughter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we're always here, for each other. Now's the time where we support each other. There's going to be times, no matter how high vibe you are, you're going to have bad days.
Of course.
You just move on to the next. And then when, it's all that, but that's the important thing right now is you don't want to be ignorant of the facts, but you don't want to dwell in it. The media did drop the ball and they did do it. So don't give your energy to the media.
So
if something happens, you'll find out.
To those videos from Saint Germain, the 10-minute Saint Germain videos. You just play it twice a day, and it just raises you up.
Whatever makes you right. Whatever makes you feel good.
That you can find that makes you feel better. And if you don't feel good, then call one of us.
Right. We're always here. I mean, everybody knows my email, Transient with Spirit. I'm really hectic. I can't say how quick. Of course, I was supposed to do something last week and I got sick, and then I don't know what happened, but
wow.
I don't know. But I can't say I won't. I'm doing a lot of stuff at once here. So, but we're all here for each other, and that's the important thing. And we have to remember that everyone's on our journey, and if you want to volunteer somewhere, an animal shelter, a homeless shelter, a food shelter, if you want to, whatever, look in on your neighbors, whatever will make you feel better. If you want to, start something in your community towards something you want. Start a community garden if you want to. Start some type of community network, maybe a barter system. Hey, I'm getting rid of this. Does anybody need it? Or, hey, I need this. Anybody know where I might be able to pick this up? Start doing things. Choose where we have power. Choose where you're going to spend your money. Choose where you're going to spend your energy. Choose where you're going to spend your time.
Choose where you're going to spend your money. I agree 100%.
Right. If you don't need a new one, buy a used one. And if you don't need it, don't get it. That sends a big message of, keep what you have right now. It's really important too. Be prepared though. You want to keep abreast of the things and, like always, just in case, say something odd happens, because you never know, make sure you have supplies on hand like you would if you live where there's a snowstorm or where you get natural disasters. If you always have X amount of cash around, make sure you got a few bucks, make sure you have at least a half a tank of gas, make sure you have some food in the house so you can at least go a little bit if something happens. Because let's face it, anything can happen anytime, even in good times, anything can happen. Look what happened. Remember, what was it, 20 years ago when the power grid went out? On the East Coast.
Well, the Texas power grid goes out all the time.
Right. So,
oops.
Yeah. So, just make sure forewarned is forearmed. It doesn't hurt. Does it mean something's going to happen? No. But does it hurt to be prepared? Absolutely not. Mm-hmm. Absolutely not.
So you have to make yourself crazy in the 80s, and they all know that, you would have a suitcase full of enough food for at least a week, whatever else. And then you had a place to meet. Yeah. So you, like me and my husband, he worked in Beverly Hills and I worked in Laguna, which was like 2 hours away from each other. And if there was going to be a big earthquake, then everybody had a place to meet, because maybe you can't meet in your home. It's just, and then when I moved to the South, you have a hurricane plan. It's just smart to have a plan in case something happens. That's just the way it's always been with storms and such, and hurricanes and all that stuff. So, yeah.
Right. It doesn't hurt to be prepared. And it's the same thing. Yeah. Like if something happens, if you have little kids,
Susan's been saying have some cash on hand for 3 years.
So, that's right. This year, we're not getting anybody anything. Well, all my kids are grown, but we're not, because we don't exactly know what's going to happen. All the kids are grown. Nobody needs anything.
Right.
And if we want it, we get it. So why should we spend the money to companies that aren't serving the higher good?
Oh, yeah.
Just for stuff we don't need.
I guess everybody knows this. There's a list of companies that supported, the Red Hats, and then you can choose or not choose to spend your money with them.
Right. You can go to Goods Unite Us. There's an app you can get for your phone, or you can go online and they'll do that. And there's also something called Open Secrets, and that's going to be on our website. I start networking around your town where what companies give to those, who follows your morals. It doesn't necessarily have to be always political, but what companies follow what you value and what companies don't. Choose to spend your money wisely. That gives you power. There's power in that. There's power in those little things you do. Volunteer your time. There's all kinds of things you can do. Donate to, look into before you donate. And what companies are better to donate to. Buy locally when at all possible. Ask yourself.
Absolutely. Buy local as much as you can. Completely. Food, everything. Gifts. We should all buy local. And I live on the coast, and a lot of people on the coast of the eastern United States, we all try to buy local and support whatever it is, whatever we support them. It's better to do that.
Yeah. It is. It's much better.
Even if you're online supporting Black-owned companies or Black-owned hair companies, or, our dollars do speak. They talk.
They do. And I decided, well, with everything that we're getting rid of in the house, I could have gone through a sale. I mean, it is January in Cleveland. But I just decided to let my kids take what they want, and I'm just donating the rest.
Right.
And I'm going to tell whoever it is, if you want it, I'm going to put it out there. You can come and get it. If not, it'll just, it'll go. If you don't want to, and if they don't show up, then it, I guess, goes to whoever they wants it. And usually around here, you stick it on your front lawn and it's gone in a second anyways. But most of my kids in my family pretty much pillaged my house anyways. They did it all up. So, but
I lived in Atlanta for 20 years. If you didn't want something, you put it on the curb and it was gone, like, within a day.
Right. And that's what I decided. I'm just going to donate everything and just give it to someone who could use it. And we're going to, that people fed into the fluke politics. Yeah, I know.
What are people saying? I can't see the
It
chat.
says, you do have a point. She said here. So. Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous how, and that's it. Look, people, that's another thing that you have to pay attention. There's a reason that we're kind of going through what we're going through. This time is for us people to see, for people to show their true colors, for people they're seeing that what they voted for. This is really, really a time of seeing. And if you don't wake up now, you're probably almost not gonna. This is like the last just effort of shaking everybody awake and to seeing what's out there. And it's also saying, do you really want to follow a news company that gaslit you for the last how long? Do you? No, you don't. And look what's happened. People are showing their true colors. The way I look at it is we're not dividing, we're choosing. But yeah, in that choosing, it does cause division. Let's face it, but we're choosing where our values are. And because we're choosing, like, why would you obey a head? That's telling us where you stand and what your values are. So is that a company that you want to follow if they've given $1 million to inauguration to whatever, or if they're going to make a settlement? That's
going to be really hard for me to leave Amazon, but I'm going to have to leave Amazon.
Right. After what,
like, oh my Lord.
Right. So, but that's kind of really a gift for us because we're seeing what.
No more Walmart, for sure.
Right. We're seeing where these people's values are. So do we want to align ourselves with that? Or do we want to align ourselves with a company or people that share our values?
Yeah. No more Publix. Grocery store. No.
Right. So it's
oh my God, no more Whole Foods. Oh man, Lord have mercy. That'll be really hard.
I mean, I know it is hard to a degree because sometimes, right, you have no choice, but you may have to buy there. But you sure as heck can limit it and until you can find better. You do the best you can. Don't kill yourself if you still have to shop somewhere until you can find better.
But it is a choice. It's a choice, then we need to make those financial choices. We really do.
Right. And you can choose that. It's not really that hard. I mean, it is hard, but you do the best you can. And these media sources, I had a channeling from Walter Cronkite. I've had a couple of channelings from Walter Cronkite, and he came in, he just was there. And he had told me about the media and how it will fall and how you will never see the media again as it was in his day. And it's the beginning of the end of the media. And he said they're going to reach a point where the audiences won't tolerate being gaslit anymore. They're not going to have any tolerance. If you don't tell them the truth, and it's going to be just they're going to want the facts. And if you're not going to do that, then you're gone. They're not going to have an F left to give the public once everything comes out. And he's telling me how it's all going to come out in waves. So
I heard that today, and that there's not going to be any more media. There's not going to be, and my husband was in media, and I said to him, like, you hear that? No more media.
Right. I was about 5 minutes behind. Oh, well, thanks, Mel. Let's see. She's saying it's. Thank you for that. But yeah, I mean, that's the way it is. But when Walter came in, and he does have a sense of humor, he really does. I actually had to look it up because he had a sense of humor. And, you know, I remember him from being a little kid. I don't remember him being funny. And so I looked it up. I'm like, did Walter Cronkite have a sense of humor? But evidently he had a wickedly dry sense of humor. But anyways, so he came in and he said, as it stood when he had told me this, that we can't really even imagine what's to come, because what's going to happen is it doesn't matter. I mean, it matters who's in charge on how we navigate through it. It could be harder or easier, but it's still going to be difficult, because he was like telling me, you have to understand, to get where we're going, we have to get rid of what does not serve. And he told me how much of our government really is going, and media is going to be decimated.
Okay, be careful.
Wiped out, going to be changed in waves. There's going to be waves of cleaning out, of air blowing through and blowing out what no longer serves. So the first wave will be kind of the major issues are going to be hit first. And then that's going to be like really big. And then another big one. And then it's going to be a little less as these waves of fresh air comes through and blows out what no longer serves us. But then even if you have a Lotus in charge, you still have to function maybe with a government that now might be half of what it was. So
the other day, I wasn't even thinking about Cheri, or I knew about her channelings. But I said to myself, wow, I really miss Walter Cronkite. Remember when he was on the tube and everything was right in the world? Everything was good in the, well, it really wasn't, but if Walter Cronkite was there, it meant that the world was existing. And now he's gone. But I just thought that. I was like, wow, I really miss him.
right. And that's the thing. And he told me, he said eventually we'll create our own, but he said that's what's going to happen, that we're going to have these waves that's going to blow out what no longer serves, and it's going to be the roughest the first couple times, and then it'll be easier. But then you have to learn then you have to rebuild it. But we will rebuild it better. And he did say it started with that Vietnam taught the media a lot. That taught the media and it taught government. If you want to shape the people, you can do it by selectively what you put in their living room on that 6 o'clock, that evening news. And Vietnam taught them that, on how to really, really use the media to their benefit.
I remember how horrific that was.
And he said that was like the beginning of the downfall of the manipulation of the media, was Vietnam, even back then. And it started subtly. And he was telling me about the complicity of certain and how it was. So that's what he had told me, what they had discovered, and how that I didn't understand how deep the complicity of, they were basically in coherence with certain aspects of the government and oligarchy.
But he was like the wise old grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, when he was sitting there and he would say goodnight, he was like your grandfather, that you knew that, everything was okay. I just miss that.
Right. And that's what, and he said though, that the people,
was wonderful. I don't know.
You could trust what he had to say. Like
you could
there was integrity. There was integrity.
That's what I mean.
He said, but we'll get to a point where we'll demand integrity again. But it basically all has to go, because it no longer serves us. The media as it stands no longer serves us. Our government as it stands no longer serves
Okay,
us.
so the media is is going because all of us, we get our news through YouTube.
But even some of that anymore is gotten a little.
But it's gone. It's not mainstream anymore. The news is
Right.
gone off mainstream. So I think that's what you're talking about.
Right. Because even Midas Touch, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I watch very little of any. I watch bits and pieces. I watch little clips and shorts and this and that. And I found out that reading it is better than watching it. It's much less irritating if you do. And it's kind of like just the facts. If you can read it, it takes the emotion out of it. So you're much better reading. And I like ProPublica and stuff like that. But yeah, Midas Touch is mainstream now. But even they can annoy my ass sometimes.
I like
I'm sorry.
BBC, you know.
Right. Or watch the BBC. I watched Al Jazeera on occasion, you know, and you watch some.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I watch Al Jazeera. I watch the BBC. Sky News is Rupert Murdoch thing. So watch what you hear from Sky News because that's Rupert Murdoch. You know, so yeah, Legal AF's pretty decent because they're basically
now we know like who owns the news channels and why they're pumping out what companies. We didn't know that before. We had no idea. So
90% of them
very, very intelligent about what's coming into us and where it's coming from.
Right. And this is the other thing too. 90% of all the media, now you're talking cable channels, Discovery, are owned by 6 companies. That means that they are even telling you how to think through the Travel Channel, through Discovery, through that. 6 companies own 90% of what you watch on any streaming, on anything.
Right.
So
that's why we have to talk to each other and learn from each other.
Right. And we have to be, you know, and it's much better to read it and just, you know, kind of, you watch Harry and Jessica Dennison. Yeah, I've seen her a little bit.
I don't know who that is.
They're, I don't know. Are they on the Midas Touch now?
Check it out.
I think, but there are a few good ones in there. You kind of have to, yeah, Anthony, he's good. Is he the one that does like that 5-minute news, Anthony? PBS, right. And you know, just check your facts. I hate to say don't trust anything. And as good as even some of Politics Girl's pretty good too, if you want to watch her for some of this stuff. But you know, just really don't watch it anyways. And if something really major happens, you'll find out.
So I do want to plug, since we're, 10 minutes away from the end, I do want to plug Dr. Lisa Vest.
Yeah. She
is a Native American, African American psychic, and she does shorts on TikTok, and she does shorts on YouTube. And that girl, she knows what she's talking about.
She tells it in story form, and she actually, it was really weird. So she comes across my feed like 6 times, like in, I don't know, 3 hours. And I'm like, okay, I get the point. You want me to watch it. And I get through watching it, and not sooner, I swear that I get through watching it, as Jenny texts me, did you see this? And I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? And she tells what's going on in story form because she got booted off TikTok for telling her visions in actual form. So she tells them now in story form. And she talks about everything that's going on. And she's very the
red hats and the blue hats, and I mean, she's really a wonderful storyteller, but she's a very good psychic too.
Right. And we're going to see we're going to see sudden changes. Sudden things are going to happen. People are going to be removed from, I mean, I no longer said certain people have to remove, and the next thing you know, somebody's got a broken hip, and then she accused me of casting a spell. I didn't do nothing. I just merely
I didn't accuse you. I was making a joke.
I know.
I was making a joke. I'm like, you said she needed to go down, and she went down. Did you do that?
I did not do that. So on the same day, Mr. Turtle and Broken Hip both fell. Yeah. You know, and but you know that Spirit has a way of removing people that aren't listening. They need to go. And if they are been given hints not to go, Spirit's going to make sure they go. You know, Spirit
Right.
has a way of doubling down if you're not listening to what you need to do on your journey and on your whatever. So if you're overstepping, or if you've gone way over what you are supposed to do, way over, Spirit can come in and take you by the scruff of the neck and go, I don't think so.
Oh, I think maybe that has happened to me once or twice.
Yeah, the ethical psychic.
Yes, that's her on TikTok. Yes,
right. And so they will step in.
And on YouTube, she's Dr. Lisa Vest.
Right.
She's really. I implore you to all subscribe to her. She's seriously incredible.
Right. And I don't watch that many people on, because I do channel. So I try not to watch too many people because I don't want to get it. I want to stay uncluttered. I don't want to, I want to know.
I watch. And if
she watches it and tells me.
I tell her.
But considering it went through so many times, then I knew Spirit wanted me to watch it. So I always know they want me to watch something if it goes through like that out of the blue. And
Lisa Vest is like just an incredible Native American storyteller, but she's a PhD. She's a
right.
PhD.
But and it was everything that she had said, me and Jenny, like we had dreams about that, or we had hits on that, or we had, and like that hit I had at the beginning.
One of the dreaming women.
Right. The dreaming women.
The dreaming women. And Cheri's one of the dreaming women.
Yeah. And she taught, and it's really weird. I don't know if you all remember that short I did about that vision I had at the beginning of the summer about Cheeto Puff being naked just in a whatever in the square of my neighborhood. We have something called the circle.
I remember that.
Right. And he was in the center of the circle naked, wandering around. And there was that old black car there. And it's really strange because I almost fell off my bed when I heard the way she refers to him in her stories as the naked emperor.
Yeah. The emperor with no clothes.
The emperor with no clothes. And I thought, oh my gosh, because he's, in my vision, he was just wandering around. He had no clue he didn't have any clothes on.
Exactly the same thing. So I highly recommend you guys listen to what she's been saying, because it just, the dreaming women are having the same dreams and having the same outcomes, the same information. And Cheri's one of the dreaming women.
Yeah, and I've been having some really interesting dreams. I dreamt of vines in through everything. Was my last dream, vines. I dreamt of every time I went from a scene to a scene to a scene, more vines, like ivy vines were going through. And then my son came over eating a bag of red vines, not Twizzlers, but red vines. And then he bought me a bag of red vines. And then the red vines are going through my house. And then the next thing I know, it's my house, but not my house. And then the vines went to producing, they were like from just like little things to being all over the walls. And then they produced purple fruit, not red and not blue, purple. So it went from red vines to purple fruit. And then they go into the bedroom, they curve around and they get bigger, and then they're seeping down the wall, jam. So to me, it was like it fit, like everything is just so intertwined into everything. It's like seeping into everything. And it's not just red or blue. It's both. So I think we're probably in for a lot of shock and awe. But it needs to go. Doesn't serve us. What's the point?
Have to keep her vibration high. Don't worry about anything.
Right.
Don't get in the energy of worry. Don't do that. Mm-hmm. So that won't help us. That won't help the world. That won't help. You have to keep it up. So whatever you can, if you're starting to worry, then you say to yourself, what is the next step the next best thought that I can think? Then, so if you're thinking that things are going to hell in a handbasket, then you can think, well, wait a minute, I have this friend who helps me. And that's the next best thing. And then the next best thought is, well, okay, so I have this friend that helps me. And We can help other people. And then the next best thought is, but we love everybody. The next best thought is whatever. Keep thinking, what is the next best thought to raise your vibration? And it works. It works. It works. It really does.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, it does. And think about, yeah.
So if you're feeling down, so you say to yourself, what is the next best thought? What can I say? Because you can't go from 0 to 100 if you're feeling like you're downtrodden. If you're so depressed you can't stand it. So what is the next best thought? Well, I'm breathing. I can breathe well. I'm breathing well. So what is the next best thought? Well, I can eat. Oh, okay. I can eat. Okay, I can eat. What is the next best thought? Well, I can cook. What is the next best thought? Well, I can cook for other people. What is the next best thought? Bring yourself up like that.
So right. And also don't hesitate to like call a friend or something too. Absolutely. Like I said, we're all here for each other. Now's the time.
We're all in this.
We're all in it together.
This group of light workers.
Right. And then also, one of us. And then tell yourself, is me worrying going to change anything? Is me worrying or get upset?
Worrying makes everything worse.
Right. It's not going to change anything. So what could I do to make myself feel better? Flick on an old movie, watch an old, I remember listening to write that song. What did you do when the world, 9/11? You turned on those old I Love Lucy reruns. Oh, I got chills.
Right. Yeah.
You went and you went out and you hugged your neighbor and you did whatever made you feel good. Do what makes you feel good.
Yeah. Play good music.
Right. Yeah, dance, music. Who cares if you're singing at the top of your lungs in your house?
So I'll listen to music. I don't really watch movies. Cheri does. Mm-hmm. She's a movie freak. Which is okay. But
as you can tell, you can't see back there, but
like I put on that music and I'll like Dirty Dancing or I like 60s Motown. I'll put that on and man, within 3 minutes I'm like really happy.
Right. Right, exactly. Worry doesn't add a moment to our lives.
No, worry is, that's
it's not productive.
But it doesn't help the collective. It doesn't help the world. It doesn't help the earth, and it doesn't help the collective.
Right. You want to put your energy where you want, in a way that makes the world the way you want it to be, and makes things better, and to raise your vibration. That's where you want to focus your energy.
And if you have to imagine, I used to. I was very sick for 20 years and I was bedridden and homebound. And I used to imagine in my mind, so I wouldn't go crazy, imagine being on the back roads of South Carolina. I imagined driving the back roads of South Carolina, and the back roads of South Carolina are like 2 lanes. And I imagined being near the marsh. And I imagined that for a very long time. And then eventually I got well, and eventually I moved to the back roads of South Carolina and the marsh of South Carolina. But I didn't even know, back then I didn't know what you should do. I just, to try to keep myself from going nuts, going crazy, losing my mind, and killing myself, literally. I had a plan to kill myself. To not kill myself, I imagined being on the ocean and on the marsh on the eastern coast of South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
So I manifested that, but I didn't know I was manifesting that.
But now the veil's thinner. It's easier for us to connect.
It is spirit. It's much easier now.
Take a class. Now's the time to really delve into your spiritual work. Manifest. You can manifest a lot easier now. What do you want? We can manifest the world we want. We can bring that into our. What do we want? Do you want Cheeto or do you want a lotus?
Start imagining what you want. Imagine it.
Just imagine it.
That is the. What's the word? Precursor, imagining things that you want in your life. That's the precursor to you getting what you're going to get you want in your
Right.
life.
And don't really like
It's
plan out a whole,
imagination.
right. Don't plan out a whole 4-year presidency. Just plan out the next step. Who do you want to see sworn in? Leave it at that. Just imagine who you want to see
Imagine
sworn
how
in.
it would feel. You so imagine the
Right.
wonderful feelings, how you would feel, the
Like
wonderful
the
feelings.
excitement and the joy, and imagine that screaming, and imagine like the fireworks going off,
The
and
dancing in the streets, everybody
right. And
dancing in the streets. Oh
right.
my
That's what you put
gosh,
your
how wonderful
whole
it
body
is
into
that.
it. Right. That's what you need to do. And you totally need to do that. And that's part of manifesting. And that's really important now. And we're going to be better at it. And that veil's thinner. As we raise in vibration, what we manifest will become quicker, will be better. Everything that we do as we raise in vibration is going to be quicker, better. Our connection to the spirit's going to become better. We won't need, you can connect to your guides yourself. You have a plethora of angels and guides just waiting around asking you for help. They're just waiting. Give an angel a job. They're probably bored
Waiting
up
for
there.
you to ask them to help.
Right. You have Akashic record masters that'll help you on your journey with,
But you
whatever
have to
life
ask the
lessons.
angels to help
Right.
you.
You have angels
They
of,
can't help you unless you ask. It's
right,
really
all
easy.
sources.
Angels helping.
Right. You have an angel, you have guides that help you manifest on the quantum field. Do you know you have a guide that literally helps you manifest what you want? There's literally a guide for that. Mine actually, I must overwork him because he wears a gray sweatsuit and tennis shoes. But, so it's, you just imagine it. You have help on the other side, so much more help than you realize, between ancestors and angels and guides. There's guides for everything, every imaginable thing. There's a parking lot angel.
Oh yeah, I always get the best parking lot, but you have to ask your angels. I mean, I don't think you have to ask your guides, but like every morning when you wake up, say, "Angels, please help me to have the most amazing day today. I appreciate it. I appreciate it." It's the little things.
Right. And so ask, and the more you do it, the more it'll become habit, and everyone makes a big thing about meditating. Meditating doesn't have to be this big, long, drawn out process. It could be going for a walk. Take 3 deep breaths and just sit there. Just imagine love pouring in. Just imagine the light, whatever it is to you. Sing. You can do it while you're doing the dishes. You can do a crap. I'm terrible at just sitting there and doing the thing. It's boring. Let's face it. It's boring. And so I don't do that. I do what feels right to me. And once you become in tune, it'll be like me, where your guides literally wake your ass up in the middle of the night and say, get up. They have something to tell you.
So, what is anybody saying? Because we have to.
Yeah, we have to go. Yeah, I feel her inauguration. In February, as if, Teddy swims to go Motown.
Oh, I love Teddy swims. Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah, worrying does nothing to help the situation but drains your energy. Exactly. And it lowers it. It makes it worse. Mm-hmm. So, and that's what we're here for. We're here to help prop each other up. We're here to help each other. This is our time. This is what we've trained lifetime after lifetime after lifetime.
Yeah,
this is all those hardships that we went through up to this point in this life. This is our time. Are you going to stand up and do what you came here to do, or you're not? And, if you choose not to, that's fine. That's your journey. That's okay too.
That's okay.
But, decide how you want to proceed. That it's, and that's what we have to realize too. Yeah, you don't have to say what a lower vibrational person who lives in hate and that does, but that is their journey. And you have to release that. You have to uncouple yourself from that energy. Having hate toward that, having anger towards that makes you attached to that negative energy, and you don't, and that's feeding it. So you want to cut that. You don't want to feed it. So you want to just wish them well and let them on their way. Right. Let them go. And you do you, and you do what you want, but you don't want to keep yourself tied to that lower vibration, even through anger or through frustration.
Yeah. And when you pray, just pray for the highest and best outcome.
Exactly.
For everyone, with no judgment.
Right. It's simple. Yeah. It says, let's see, where's my thing? It's simply making a quiet time. Right. Yeah, that own thing. I can't. You know, I started a new training thing for me, and I've always been interested in shamanism and different things, and I've been practicing witch for my mom, well, a life basically, and but I always felt that there was more, and I wanted to do more, and I started doing the medicine wheel training, and I just started it. But as soon as I started it, it made so much sense to me. Like I felt like I was home. And it really made me understand how we need to go. And it's about balance too, and about how, letting go, and the importance of just being neutral. But you have to understand there's good and there's bad. And you're not there to judge, but you have to let people on their journeys, and you do. And you're just like, I mean, it really was an awakening moment for me. So find what works for you on your spiritual journey going through, and what works now. And as you move through, might change later, or you might add to it. So not only was, I practicing witch forever, I'm adding this to it now. And so I'm building on it and creating like my own thing. And it feels like I've stepped up, create your own spiritual journey right now too. Delve into what interests you. That really is, will connect you more towards spirit. It will help guide you more. It'll help ground you more.
Like take classes.
Take a class, read a book.
lot of classes online.
There's all kinds of things like that. And I found that that's really, really helpful right now. Concentrate on yourself and your spiritual journey, and see what works for you right now. What works for you? Don't worry about what anybody else says. What works for you at this moment in time. And sometimes you have to let go of the past. Does what you're doing now serve you still? Or are you keep holding on to it over some misguided notion? Well, I put so much energy into it, so I really don't want to totally let it go, because, I spent so much time doing that. Or
if you need help, reach out.
Right.
So many people that will listen and
right.
help.
So it's real. I don't. Yeah. So I'm not quite sure what I just said there, but yeah. So it's really important right now too. Find your place with spirit. Find your connection with spirit. How does that work for you? Doesn't matter how it works for me. How does it work for you? I mean, I can tell you what works for me, and if you can take what works for you, and but do some investigating, do some reading. Now it's the time really for yourself and for others. So you want to give, but you want to also grow yourself. So I hope that we didn't talk too much about stuff, but we just kind of wanted to get back in the swing of things, tell you what we were doing, how we're handling the energies, and if you had any questions, and we just let it go. We let spirit drive today.
Yeah.
So I hope it was helpful to everything, and we'll be back more, won't we?
Yes. Yeah.
And we'll do some readings again. We'll do some Akashic readings, and I'd like to get back in there and help people, but we're going to be doing Akashic readings. We're not going to be doing who I'm going to fall in love with next week. No.
Really? I want to know where my boyfriend is. No, seriously, I'm kidding.
I want to know where no, just kidding.
Boyfriend.
But yeah, so we're going to be doing some Akashic stuff. We'll do some energy stuff. We'll be doing if there's anything you want us to do, let us know. But we want to do more of helping people on their journeys, and things like that, is what we want to do.
And Cheri's going to be on the road pretty soon. So.
And I'm going to be broadcasting really from the road. But I really would like to get back into, because I do think having people understand where you came from on your journeys, like different lives that you've led, really can be insightful into how you lead your life now. It really, and you can draw on those past life experiences and pull those energies through, and really can support you now. Henry's with me a lot, and
I love Henry.
And he prepared me. Like, he told me to get ready for the bombing run. He's like, we got a bombing run coming. So that's how I knew. So, you can pull in your previous life energies for now, and that will help assist you now. All those lives that you led up until now were for now.
Right. But this is the time where we're going to help everybody.
Right. And we're going to
This is
help
a time
everybody.
where the light workers and whatever you call it, we are going to help everyone. This is the time that we were meant to be here.
Right.
And so we're here.
Right. And don't let anyone say how you should do your journey. Don't say, well, I have to just be, I can't do, well, that's fine for them, but that's not be fine for you. And that's okay. Just remember that it's okay. Their journey is their journey. Your journey is your journey. You journey the way you need
if
to.
Anybody needs help, just contact one of us in the community and they'll help you.
Yep. Okay. So I guess that's it for tonight. Thank you all for coming. And we'll be back again. I know it's the holidays. I'm not sure when, but we'll probably just do like we did now. We'll pop up and do a thing. And maybe next time we'll do some Akashic readings. So, or who knows? So everyone have a nice, safe week. And Saturday at 6:30, we're doing the second Shine Your Light. It's going to be a little different this time. We're going to have some presenters on there that are going to do some longer.
Eastern Standard Time?
6:30 Eastern Standard, just like last time. And then we're going to do the light. Val's going to do the, from Dragonfly Crystals, is going to do the lighting for each hour this time. And we're going to have some people come in, talk about some different modalities that they do, some different, just all kinds of different things of using more tools for your tool belt. This time, we do realize a lot of people are busy. So people are going to have longer time in there. And like, we're going to do another healing. Terry's going to do a nice healing for us again. And we're going to have how different, how to work with your dreams, how to maybe use tarot to help you connect with spirit. We're going to be having people talk about different, shamanism, having people talk about angelic connections. So we're going to have all kinds of things like that. And it's going to be at longer periods. And then we're going to have a period of like, where we come together and kind of chat too. But so it's going to be a little different this time, more, I don't know, what would you call it? More presentations. Thank you. So, and then we'll see how it goes. And then we'll let you know about the website that's coming up too.
So just remember, everybody, you're never alone. You're
never alone.
Never alone. Never.
Yep. We're all here. So everyone have a good week. Stay safe. And if you need us, you know how to reach us. So bye everybody.